In my place, they say "Aseng." "Aseng" means like "excuse me" or "seriously." She deserves more than that. I mean, seriously? Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Wow, I am so happy to see these beautiful people here this evening, ready to support the Patcha Foundation to fight that war that was declared by President Nixon in 1971, the war against cancer. Mima has said something to us today. What I take away from that is you've got to be your own advocate. I have exactly the same spirit as Mima. I will fight for myself. So I encourage everybody here, if you have to take one thing home from her keynote address, is the fact that you've got to be your own advocate. So last year, October 11th, we gathered around to raise funds for the Patcha Foundation. If you're like me, I want to know what they're doing with my money. Wouldn't you want to know what they're doing with your money? I definitely want to know what you're doing with my money. So I'm going to present to you some of the accomplishments of the Patcha Foundation in the year 2015. So this is really the most important aspect for me. What did they do with your money? What did they do with your dollars? What did they do with your pounds? What did they do with your naira, if we have Nigerian friends here? There were several accomplishments of the Patcha Foundation, but the truth is, the most important, which I'm going to highlight tonight, is the medical mission. I'm going to talk about some volunteers, some sponsors, some partners. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So the Patcha Foundation is doing this not by themselves. They need support from you beautiful people, generous donors sitting right here. They need your help. Next slide, please. So we all know what the foundation's mission is. CASEC, cancer awareness, screening, early detection and care. But I want to point out that the Patcha Foundation, although the main goal is cancer, they also do diabetes screening and they also do screening for high blood pressure and sometimes for HIV/AIDS. So there were several accomplishments. They had a medical mission in 2015 in Edea and Kribi, June 15 to the 19th. There was a symposium held in the same room, right? Is it the same hall? There was a symposium in April of this year that gathered experts from cancer research, a number of NGOs, and they spoke about bridging the gap of cancer care for our Africans here and on the African continent. There was a walk a few days ago, and the participants actually smashed cancer. They walked on cancer and they beat cancer to death. The Patcha Foundation is known to make their presence in various health fairs, and they did that this year. But again, the focus is the medical mission. Remember that the Patcha Foundation has been to Cameroon. This year was the third time on a medical mission. The first year they went to Kumba, they went to Tiko, they went to Limbe. The next time they went to Chan and they went to Bamenda. And this year they went to Edea and they went to Kribi. If you are a Cameroonian, you should know that that spans across how many provinces, how many regions? 5 regions. So again, the Patcha Foundation, I say this again to make you understand that this is a foundation that is not just going to where Sister Stella is going across Cameroon. We have volunteers from the USA, we have volunteers from Cameroon, and we have volunteers from the UK. In fact, I got to know about Dr. Mathilde, who actually had an accident in England, but she was still able to make it to the medical mission. I don't know if she's here. Is she here? She's not here today. So one thing I want to point out about the medical mission, everything was free. Free because you guys sitting right here gave money to the Patcha Foundation to help them accomplish that. In this 2015, a total of 4,000 208 people registered, and the Patcha Foundation was able to see 3,200 people. If you were here last year, I gave the map. The Patcha Foundation had seen 8,000 people in those 2 years. So when you add it to 3,000 something, therefore the Patcha Foundation has seen about 12,000 people in Cameroon in 3 years. Isn't that something? We always say Cameroonians don't make that much money. They don't. So some of them don't have health care. So the Patcha Foundation is there to fill that gap for people like that. We'll show you videos of people that were there. You see the crowd is unbelievable. They are there because they seek help. And the Patcha Foundation provides that medical help for them. So what were the goals of this mission? Cancer screening for breast cancer, prostate cancer, cervical cancer. And if anybody had any precancerous lesion, that lesion was treated. HIV screening was also done. EKGs to identify people that had cardiac problems was also done. Blood pressure, blood sugar were also taken. So the Patcha Foundation is really there to do something to help our people. What a wonderful spirit. If so many of us could make that big difference. And that's why, you know what, I spend my time doing this because I don't have that much money, but at least I can share my expertise, make a difference in somebody's life. The Patcha Foundation actually gave out medications to everybody that was there to take them for a period of time, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, and for some much longer period. There was also eye exams, and eyeglasses were given to those who had eye problems. Next slide, please. So let's look at the numbers. Some of you might not like looking at numbers, but sometimes to me, looking at numbers make all the difference. You see the numbers and you see what's going on. So again, look at breast cancer. 468 people consulted, and actually 18 of them were abnormal, and 8 surgeries were performed, and 18 were referred. Cervical cancer, the same number, 468, 36, 15, 21. Prostate cancer, HIV, cardiology. I want to point out here that cardiology was done for both adults and children. And actually a 14-year-old girl was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy, who requires a heart transplant. So the Patcha Foundation would have to refer her for that. The Patcha Foundation did a lot of surgeries. 462, do you see that? 462. And 107 surgeries were performed. 468 consultations and 107 surgeries were performed. Most of them were hernia, right, Dr. Bwele? Most of them were hernia and a few lipomas. Dental, 317 people consulted for dental, and of that, 91 had extractions and fillings, and 60 people actually had cleaning. So you see, do you agree with me that the Patcha Foundation is really improving community health? Would you agree when you see these numbers? So I'm just going to go through some videos, share with you so you can see what really transpired in the medical mission in Idea and Kribi, and really understand that tonight, please, deep down in your pockets and support the Patcha Foundation. So we'll go through a couple of slides and then I'll come back. Thank you.
So basically, this first video show you, just as if you were there, the type of community that we serve when we go on the field in Africa. We're talking about women, we're talking about children, and we're talking about the elderly. And as you can see, those people come in large number because, as you all know, access to healthcare in Africa is very expensive when it exists. So you can see all the children. Here we are in Idea, but some of the videos were taken in Kribi. Just see the line. So this is just an example of the reality of the medical mission. The first day, so she mentioned that little lady, that little girl who had a cardio issue, 14 years old. Here is she. So basically what happened, so this is a cardiologist looking at her situation. And the good news is that the Patcha Foundation, you saw Stella, the Patcha Foundation basically decided to follow up with that little girl and make sure that she will receive the healthcare that she deserves. So that was just a glimpse of what happened on the field in Cameroon.
Thank you, Dr. Dongo. So you can see the reality. People are really suffering in Cameroon. So let's look at all those beautiful volunteers that have given up their time to go to Cameroon, leave their beautiful families, leave their job, go back home just to serve the poor and the needy. So now we look at the volunteers at work.
It's amazing when you see those people during those 5 days on the field. They sleep usually at around 2 a.m. But Dr. Bwele, who is here, usually doesn't sleep at all. Seeing Dr. Bwele perform those surgeries, actually he loves to do those surgeries during the night. And he's the only one. We tired at 2 a.m., we abandon him, he continued until the morning. They're amazing. Motivated, never complain, inspiring.
Okay, so now we're going to watch a short snippet again of the surgery team at work doing surgeries. Of course, Dr. Bwele was the main person. Okay. So that's Dr. Bwele. Dr. Bwele was a CNN Hero Top 10 in 2013, and then he is with all the surgeons performing the surgery. Okay. Sorry, we're having some technical issues. I'll have to go back to my slides.
Anyway, Dr. Bwele is talking here, but because we have the actual Dr. Bwele in the room, he's going to be able to say, even more than what he was saying on that video. So more than 100 surgeries were performed, average 20 per night. Fantastic. And with the limited means that they have over there, it's really amazing. And that was the bottom line, to work every day and every night to make the people's life better. Just on time.
So just so you see the breadth of what goes on during the medical missions, just look at the pharmaceuticals that are being distributed. It's not a joke. We're talking about boxes and boxes of medication that have to be distributed to everybody who comes for the medical mission. So thank you, Patcha Foundation. Okay, so here is a patient testimony. I'm just praying that this really plays. This is a patient thanking the Patcha Foundation for what they have done to him and encouraging them to come again next year. So again, please try to support them so they can go back and give that help to people who are in need. I pray this works.
And so you will see this gentleman before the surgery and after the surgery. Okay.
So I profit this Patcha Foundation company. They have come here, but I discover it and I see that things are moving very well. They help us concerning my health. In fact, I was not feeling fine when I walk. I feel pains all over my body, but now the doctors have promised me that things will be right. So I'm just expecting now, after everything, I will be saved by God's grace.
How long have you had that problem?
It will be more than 5 years.
Today we're going to have the operation.
I believe by God's grace.
Okay. So we pray that everything will go on down.
May God take the glory.
Amen. We will see you after the surgery.
So extend the number of days. And the good news is that starting tomorrow, we're going to spend Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And another good news is that this is not the first year that the Patcha Foundation has done those medical missions. Last year we were in Chong, Bagenda also, and the year before we were in Kumba. And next year we come again, so this is something that will be ongoing. Because as you say, the population of Cameroon is like 7%. Thank you very much, my friend, and thank you for your family. God bless you.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not computer savvy to that extent, so thank you, Dr. Dongo, for embedding those videos into my presentation. Thank you very much. So like I said before, the Patcha Foundation cannot do this by themselves. In Cameroon in 2015, they had partners, and some of the partners included ASCOVIM, headed by Dr. Boele, the Cameroon Baptist Convention, the National Cancer Control Committee, and the Shishong Health Center. So those were the partners, and I believe there are more, but those were the partners that we decided to highlight. Thank you so much for being a partner and helping the Patcha Foundation to go through this medical mission successfully. Next slide, please. So volunteerism. What really is volunteerism? How would you want your legacy to be when you leave this world? Would you want to make a difference in somebody's life? Would you want to put a smile on somebody's face? Would you want to change one life? If you really want to do that, then you should volunteer to a good cause, like what the Patcha Foundation is doing. So there have been so many volunteers, and again, I'll refer to Sister Stella. I don't have all the names. But in this presentation, we decided to highlight 3 people that have gone to Cameroon on medical missions successfully in the last 3 years. And the first is Mrs. Rosemary Ngesa Atanga, who's gone to all 3 medical missions. The next is Miss Esther Chibayere. Where is she? She's been to all 3 medical missions. Miss Melanie Foju, is she here? She's in Cameroon. So she has been to all 3 medical missions, and the students of a nursing school called HIAMS. Incidentally, that school is owned by one of my former colleagues from the University of Boya. So that institution has had all students attend the medical mission. So we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, this wouldn't have been possible without sponsors, without donors. So here is a list of all. I'm not going to go through all of them because it's really a long list, but I'll give a few examples. The National Vision and Restoring Vision, they provided 300 pairs of glasses to those who had eye problems. Direct Relief provided 100 pair of glasses. And we have some of our Cameroonian-born pharmacists that have consistently donated and supported the Patcha Foundation. We have Mrs. Dango. Is she here? Mrs. Dango? Banyo, Dr. Banyo? Okay. Our pharmacy has supported the Patcha Foundation. We have Dr. Doreen Takusi and her husband, Zontak Pharmacy. Are they here? Okay, they have consistently supported as well. Dr. Marie Bibun of State Pharmacy, she has supported as well. And we have Dr. Cletus from Indy and Rosedale Smiles. Holy Cross Hospital, MedShare Kingsway. These are all sponsors and donors of the 2015 medical mission. Please give them a hand of applause. Okay. There's a special lady. I hope she's here, but if she isn't here, we still have to acknowledge her. She was the biggest cash donor in 2015. She's called Nicole Rabui. Nicole lost her mom, Nancy, to breast cancer, and Nicole struggled to hold herself together, graduated, and you know what she decided to do when she settled her mom's estate? She donated $5,000 US to the Patcha Foundation. She was the biggest cash donor.
I'm trying to get to that camera.
She's barely 21 years old. Next slide, please. So again, the Patcha Foundation, listening to all what they do, you agree with me that they improve community health. Do you? When you go to the website, you want to look at the medical reports, you want to make sure that you're using your money very well, go to the website. All the medical reports are there for you to see. That is what we call transparency. If you decide to peruse those reports, you would see that everything is accounted for. Accountability. If you're somebody who is accountable, I call you an honest person. And if you have accountability, you have honesty, what that tells me is that you're somebody who has integrity. So these are the attributes of the Patcha Foundation. Improve community health, honest, accountable, trustworthy, and they have integrity. And one other quality is sustainability. The Patcha Foundation has successfully gone to Cameroon 3 times, 3 occasions, so you know for sure that if you donate your money today to them, they're going to definitely do something in 2016, right? They will, because they've proven over time that they are reliable, they are sustainable. So what I have shown you today, in summary, is that the Patcha Foundation is using their tool called CASEC, Cancer Awareness, Screening, Early Detection and Care, to chase away cancer using their attributes. I coined an acronym from it, CHASE IT. They're trying to chase away cancer using their attributes of community health, honesty, accountability, sustainability, integrity, and transparency. So if you're like me, I have a very curious mind. I have a very curious brain. So if you're sitting in this room and you're like me, you should be asking yourself some questions. If I donate my money today to the Patcha Foundation, what would they do with my money? Right? Are they going to have a medical mission in 2016? I believe they will. So hopefully, before we leave this place, we'll hear from the Patcha Foundation what the key 2016 resolution is. thank you for listening to me, for having the patience to go through those videos with me. Thank you, Dr. Njwen, and thank you for the Patcha Foundation. And please, give it up to the Patcha Foundation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Since we are, thank you, I want to recognize a gentleman in this house. To be able to do those things in Africa, you must have the support of the government.